Good morning, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talk Sunday Stream of Consciousness. Great to have you with us this morning on this wonderful opening day. I don't care about the Thursday and Friday games. They're fun. This is opening day of the NFL season. We welcome everybody in today on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I think our Facebook feed is fine. That's why I delayed the start of the show a little bit. I don't know how I got my profile picture up there instead of the TGI Sports Talk page, but whatever. I want to thank all the groups that allowed me to share. As you will always see, our favorite ones scrolling across the bottom of the screen: John Gonzalez at Sports Authorities, Greg Rawlings at America's Pastime, the Love for Baseball, Florida Gang over at Bottom Line Sports, Let's Talk Sports, Ken Krause and Golf Bud Sports of all sorts. Quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff out of Ocean City now, Pittsburgh Focus, nationwide footprint. We do some stuff with them on the Sports Corner from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. I shouldn't say I do something every Tuesday. I do not. Smoking Jim Frazier does, and I will guest every now and again. Make sure you catch us tomorrow morning on the Jack and Keith Weekend Playbook. And what are we on? At 8 o'clock Eastern? And we'll recap a lot of college football, a lot of pro football, obviously, today. A quick programming note: college football huddle this week is going to be Tuesday. I'll put an announcement on the pages in the next couple of days. We're going away Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've got to talk to Jack. We probably will not do a Jack and Keith weekend update on Friday, but I hope to do the Major League Baseball update if I'm home back in time. If not, we'll put that on hold as well. Lots to talk about today. I want to get into a couple of quick things before we get into the sports stories, and one of them is a big. They're both big sports stories. If you want to talk about the great Davy Johnson, who passed away yesterday, managed the Mets to their second World Championship, and only 2 championships in 1986. Managed with the Reds, with the Dodgers, with the Nationals, the Orioles. Won everywhere he was. One of the underrated managers, I think, in baseball, and underrated player as well. Had a freak 40 home run season in Baltimore in his first year he got traded there from, in Atlanta, first year after he got traded from Baltimore. We can talk about Davey and his impact in New York if you'd like, and elsewhere. And the great Ken Dryden, maybe the best goalie that I've seen play. Somebody else mentioned this. I think John Gonzalez did on the Sports Authorities. One of the maybe the best goalie I've seen play in my lifetime, and I also remember him very fondly from the Miracle on Ice. If you don't know, he was the he was not the play-by-play. Play-by-play was Al Michaels. He was the color coordinator or commentator. That's what we called him at the time. So rest in peace to them. Our kudos, our kudos. Yeah, our kudos on a great life's well led, and our thoughts and prayers to their families. And if you got more to say about these two guys, please do during the course of the show. This is your show, don't forget. College football, a couple things to talk about. Brian Kelly with some awesome comments about Dabo Swinney's grading system we'll get into possibly. Games yesterday: Florida State, Texas, Alabama, all rebound against, teams in for a payday. A great game in Florida. South Florida upsets Florida, which I did call myself on Friday's Mac and Jack show. I took the underdog with 17.5 and said, don't be surprised if they win. Huge win for them. Arch Manning let loose to play Arch Manning's game. I understand they played San Jose State. Alex Golich, by the way, at South Florida, great coach to watch out. Bill Belichick gets his first win against that perennial power Charlotte. He said sarcastically, Oklahoma with a big win for Max Venable against Michigan. Oregon rolls over Mike Gundy, worst loss ever for Gundy. Iowa State, more of the same. Fran Brown makes his team run sprints after winning a game. God bless him. NFL opening day. I'll give you my division picks. I'll give you my week 1 picks, and we'll look at the scoreboard from college football too for our pool. Travis Hunter going to play mostly offense, according to coaches. Parsons will be limited in Green Bay. Not sure what I wrote there. Anyway, baseball. Dodgers lost their 5th in a row. Yankees and Blue Jays split the first 2 games of their series. Yankees remain a game back. The Mets kid pitchers pitching well. Framber Valdez. Did he hit his cross up and hit his catcher on purpose? These are all topics you can think about. Ohtani gets a surprise start the other night. Do they start to stretch him out for the playoffs? Bader home run, and we had a Karen incident caught on film. She lost her job now, and that might be a little bit of overkill. But I like what Bader did with the kid afterwards. If you saw the highlights of this, the video of this, very, very sad. And we can talk about anything you want there. If you're into tennis, Sabalenka from Sabalenka defeats Azamov yesterday to win her I think second straight U.S. Open. And for the third straight men's Grand Slam final, Alcaraz and Sinner will play each other today. So this is your show. So talk about whatever you. Oh, by the way, somehow under the radar, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield somehow schedules their Hall of Fame presentations on NFL opening weekend, college football in full swing, Major League Baseball pennant races. Why are you doing this now? Are you nuts? And guys, we're going to go. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to a time today because we're still trying to feel the new timeout and me able to get where I need to get. I'm going to try to go to 11:45 just to give myself a little bit of cushioning here this first week. Hopefully, we'll get it to where we can go the full 2 hours to 11. So good to have you with us. Hello, JB. Good to have you with us. Check out JB's stuff at the Back It Up Binge podcast. Great stuff. AC's with us today. He's on fire. Paul Spada, his Oregon Ducks put a beating on Mike Gundy, his worst loss ever. The Mike Gundy era, I love Mike Gundy. He needs to grow the mullet back better. He's got a semi-mullet, I think, still. But he may be nearing the end at Oklahoma State. By the way, no big surprise in today's game. They lose their biggest benefactor in T-Bone Pickens, passed away a few years ago, contributed maybe billions, hundreds of millions of dollars to his school. And this program was really good for a long time. And now they are not. They're working on like a $4 million budget, $7 million budget. I believe Oregon's at 40, just to give you an idea of the disparity that we have in some of these programs and the spending going on. Anyone check on how good point. JB Yamamoto got to one out, I believe, in the ninth inning last night. And the Orioles magic kicks in on Cal's. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Tossing 2 outs. And a great point. Thank you so much. The Orioles magic does kick in and they win yesterday. It is the 30th. Today is the 30th anniversary of Cal Ripken going 21-31, breaking Lou Gehrig's tremendous, thought to be unbreakable record of consecutive games played. So kudos to Cal Ripken as well. Another topic we can talk about because, in my opinion, Cal Ripken helped save baseball, as we said. Good morning, Drew. Good to have you with us as well. Oh, what else we got going on here? Chiefs dynasty's over. So here we go again, right? This isn't to pick on UAC. This is to pick on everybody. The Chiefs dynasty's over because they lost a game. Oh, my God. I've listened to this, I don't know, pretty much since the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a fan of really good football teams. I'm a fan of dynasties because I think they're good for football. Other people don't think so, and they think they're propped up by, scripting of the games and referees making calls in their favor, and it's a lot of BS. Let's not write the Chiefs off just yet. After one game in Brazil, when nobody plays in the preseason, Chargers played great football the other night. I'm not willing to write off the Chiefs just yet. Just saying. Good morning to Michael Denton Edwards. How are you? Happy Sunday to you. Sorry about your Michigan Wolverines yesterday. Good win for Oklahoma. If I didn't touch anything college football real quick, we'll go back. But listen, Bryce Underwood showed. I mean, he played worse than Arch Manning played last week. I haven't seen a big outcry about Bryce Underwood's performance. Arch Manning bounces back yesterday, yes, against San Jose State. So don't throw that in my face. Everybody was playing cupcakes except a handful of teams yesterday. And some fared well and some did not. But they let Arch Moore do his thing more yesterday. Move around with the football. Arch Manning will be fine. Is Arch Manning a Heisman candidate? I don't know. I didn't anoint him a Heisman favorite. I said Norris from South Carolina is. He hasn't played well either. A lot of guys don't play well early in the season. Again, no preseason in college football either. Hello again to Flo. How are you, my friend? Canteen and I had our first show in 7 months yesterday. Excellent. Remind me or send me a link or something, Flo, and I'll share it to my pages if you would. Good to have you back. Are you back in the States or did you do this remotely? And if you can't tell me, that's fine as well. I feel like I'm not trying to get into national secrets here and get Flo in trouble. But welcome. It's good to have you back. 7 months it's been. So you've been deployed 7 months, I'm assuming. Good to have you back. I'd love to come out with you guys at some point and have you guys on here too, and do some stuff. If not this show, one of the other shows. Davey was a huge part of my Mets fascination when I was younger. Drew, I wasn't a Met fan. But the Yanks, the Mets kind of had taken over the back pages in that era. They were wild. Davey just let them play. That's what, the good thing. It's funny. A lot of guys' strengths are also their weaknesses, right? Davey let the guys play. If you're watching the Cowboys miniseries on Netflix now, it's very similar to what Barry Switzer was talking about. He treated guys like adults, and as long as they showed up and they played well and did their jobs, he didn't care what they did off the field. And that was Davey's mantra as well. And it played very well for him for a couple of years. And it was also his downfall at the end, I would say, with the Mets anyway. But Davey managed a lot of places. Davey was huge in the fact that Doy Gooden came up at 19 years old. The organization didn't want that to happen. Davey Johnson really battled to make that happen with great results at the beginning anyway. So anyway, yes, rest in peace to Davey. Davey was a very underrated major league manager and won everywhere he went. Good morning, Rick. It's funny. Rick's comment about the social media making the Liz Warren column famous for baseball incident in Philly. I did mention it a little bit. This woman's an idiot, by the way. Kudos to Harrison Bader. Class act. I've always said I love Harrison Bader. Look, he's not a superstar. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's a good baseball player. When you watch him, he does things that don't show up in the stat line. This is something that is great public relations for the Phillies and for his team. If you didn't see it, he had a home run. A woman says she had it taken away from a little kid, went over to his father and her and said, "It's my ball," made up a big stink. By the way, she got fired from her job, which I think is probably a little bit overkill, but I don't know. This woman, I guarantee you, Jack was talking about it earlier, she's made one mistake. I guarantee you this Karen didn't do this for the first time in her life, maybe in a ballpark. But you want to bet me she hasn't done it in a supermarket or done it at a kid's baseball game or in a parking lot somewhere or in the workplace? Guaranteed. Very funny meme I saw today is they turned her around. They did put Liz Warren's face on her. So if you don't think it's funny, then I'm sorry. But it's not Liz Warren, let's be clear. She's an idiot, quite frankly. Give the freaking ball to the kid. Congrats, Alan. Yes, Alan. If Alan, you're with us, great win by your Sooners. Takes a lot of pressure off Brent Venable going into a tough SEC schedule. This was this was a pretty big win, I think, for Brett Venable and the Sooners yesterday. Not impressed with the play calling by the Michigan offense, quite frankly. Their defense was pretty good. Batir played really well, I thought, except for a couple of plays. So maybe he was betting on some of his performance props yesterday. I'm kidding. I doubt it. I'd like to see Batir getting in some headlines for something other than sports betting. SAC pushing the Kansas City buttons. The NHL salary cap has gone from $39 million in 2004 to now $96 million. It's getting harder for lower market teams to hit their market floors. Well, again, they can spend $96 million. They can go out and get owners with, I don't know if the salary cap, is the salary cap? Oh, the NHL salary cap. Sorry about that. I thought that was low. Jeez. Got me off guard with the NHL so early. Well, look at salary caps are a big deal, a big topic in MLB right now. We're probably going to have a work stoppage coming up because of it. I'm not in favor. I'm a capitalist, man. People deserve to get paid whatever somebody's willing to pay them. They'll go and earn it. And quite frankly, as George Steinbrenner already said, you buy the Yankees, there's a lot of advantages to buying them and not the Kansas City Royals. Or, and to use a hockey analogy, buying the I'm trying to think of a good analogy here. Well, they're out of existence, but a lot of difference between buying the Rangers or the Bruins and the Coyotes or Columbus. Again, you need owners with money today. If you don't have money, don't get into sports ownership. Yeah, that's just my take on it. Can teams buy? You can't buy championships as a rule when everybody's playing under the same rules. I think there should be a floor. Right? I think they should make some teams in all these sports spend a limited amount of money, the least amount of money. Not totally open. It is to me. Again, I've said at the top, those games at play, I don't care about that. It's like I don't care about the games that get played in Japan or on the Mars during the baseball early season. Those games were played in week 1. This is opening day because this is a day I sit with all my boys that for 25 years I've gotten together. Unfortunately, we're Miss Joe the Pro today. He sadly passed away 2 weeks ago. Our good friend Joe Morendo, who my buddy Mark and I have been going to watch Patriot games every Sunday for the last 25 years. Mark and I have done it for a lot longer than that because when we had season tickets and whatnot. But Joe was with us the last 25 years-ish. And that's why it's opening day to me, because I will go to my old stomping grounds and see a bunch of my old friends that the only time I see them is during football season. And I'll see all the games going on, not one in Brazil. So anyway, as I said earlier, today's opening day. So yes, for me, it's totally NFL opening day. Everybody's got to listen. I can have my own definitions to things. That's just how I live my life. Yamamoto joins the list of pitchers losing a no-hitter by one batter. You know, the king of that, I feel like, and I can't remember how many of them went down to one batter. The guy I remember most for this, Drew, is Dave Stieb. Dave Stieb back in the 80s, early 90s. I feel like in one season he had about 5 shots at no-hitters. He lost them in the 9th inning. But he had a bunch of them throughout his career, and that number might be inflated for 1 year. And I don't know how many went down to the last pitch, but heartbreaking. I'm glad they had him out there with a chance to win. I think he threw somebody can correct me. I think he threw over 110 pitches. I think somebody in the group commented that it was on his 112th pitch. Good for Dave Roberts for leaving him out there. Tired of guys getting pulled with a chance to make history. No hitters are still important in baseball. Yeah, there's a lot of them. They're not as rare as what did we decide? Certainly not as rare as a perfect game. Certainly not as rare as 4 home runs. But it's still something that means something. There's a bunch of guys with no hitters that you never would remember them if they didn't throw no hitters. Did I say Springfield? What did I say? Oh, that's Springfield and scheduling something with everything else going on in the world. I hope Michael Gott's with us today. I sent him over to National Streaming Sports. I saw Michael commenting on the big football show this morning, so I'm hoping Michael Gott made it back with us. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I sent him over to National Streaming Sports. He's unable to comment on YouTube and have them show up on the show. Don't know why. Drew had mentioned he doesn't see everybody's comments. I have no control over that, guys, just so you know. If you don't see comments, nothing I do. My platforms are all set up to wide open for the whole anybody. And I don't block anybody. I had a guy come in and say my head looked like a giant penis one day, right? A lot of you remember that. Then I heard his mom calling him, said his breakfast is ready. Come upstairs, please. Arch Manning can take control of Heisman again if he helps beat Florida and Oklahoma. I agree, Flo. I mean, listen, this Heisman race, Heismans don't get one in week 1 or week 2. Heismans get one over the course of a season. And big wins in front of big audiences get you a lot of votes. Should he have been the favorite? Probably not. You know, is Arch Manning as bad as he was in the first game? And don't get me wrong, he was bad. But again, first shot on the big stage, and give the kid a chance. I think he'll be fine. He played fine yesterday, and he will get a chance to take control of the Heisman. But there's going to be a lot of guys out there with a shot. Nuts, throwing an oversized baseball through an elevated peach basket on a pole in the middle of Kansas and nowhere. That's a nuts. James Naismith. But it's bad marketing for sure. The Hall of Fame inductions now. We didn't even know what they're going on. Jack sent a message in a group we have for some of the podcasters that do the roundtable shows for National Streaming Sports. And he mentioned that the Basketball Hall of Fame inductions were going on, and none of us even knew. We didn't talk about it last week leading into it. We can talk about it today. Carmelo goes in. Sue Bird goes in. Dwight Howard goes in. Who else went in? By the way, where's Chris Fgrave? I got a little information on Gunnar Rivers, who's, by the way, playing. That's Philip Rivers' son playing in football in Alabama. So you can see where he probably would have an advantage. So who we got? Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, WNBA greats Maya Moore, Sue Bird, one of my favorites of all time in that league. Sylvia Fowles, the 2008 men's basketball team was inducted, also known as the Redeem Team, alongside two-time NCAA champion and Chicago Bulls head coach Billy Donovan, Heat owner Mickey Arison, and longtime NBA official. It would be a big story if an NFL official was inducted. NBA official Danny Crawford. So there's your Hall of Fame inductees. Have a way at it if you like. CFL team game balls, Lamar, Army. Army with a nice win. Listen, I've said all along, I don't think Army's as good as they are or were last year, and I don't think they are. Replacing a lot of guys, especially on that offense. But they beat K-State at K-State. A payday game for Army, probably. I don't know if they can take paydays like the other teams can. I mean, we saw some big paydays. Grambling, we talked about it or before the show on the the Big Football Show. Grambling got $1 million plus to go get their asses kicked by Ohio State. Don't feel sorry for those kids. They wouldn't have a program at Grambling without games like that. Their total revenue is $12 million for the football team. That's almost, I can't do math real well, but that's just less than 10% of their total revenue from one football game. But anyway, Lamar, I'm not sure what happened with Lamar yesterday. Army, we know. South Florida, great game plan. Golish is one of the up-and-coming coaches in college football, has turned his program around quickly, beat back-to-back ranked opponents, and right now, this is an early comment, one of the front runners for that group of 5 playoff seed. Honorable mention to Mississippi State. Nice win against number 12 Arizona State yesterday. Good calls, all. CA, good job. Bryce Underwood will bounce back. Of course he will. I'm not saying he won't. Just saying. Michigan will beat Nebraska in 2 weeks. I've got Nebraska winning that game. As you know, Nebraska is one of my sleepers. Venable's defense was too much for the young quarterback in the new OC, in Michael's opinion. Yeah, but aren't they going to see some good defenses elsewhere? Listen, Oklahoma has been down. Listen, and Brett Venable has been on the hot seat for a while, still there. This helps a bit. He's a defensive guy. His defense have not played up to par, and they played very well yesterday. But he's going to see some more good defenses in the Big Ten. Not sure, one of them being Ohio State. And again, pretty much like the coach, Bryce Underwood's season will probably come down to him beating or losing to Ohio State. Hello, Scott Kobe in Vegas today. Listen, early riser. We're not doing any gambling, are we? I'm having a little trouble with my new coffee cup. I made this so that when I'm done, I can just hit the road and take it with me. There's Flo. Can't wait to get. Oh, so you're not back yet. Back to the good old US of A. You've been gone a while. Oh, that's right. You did say a while. 6 to 8 weeks, give or take. We, again, stay safe and get home safe. If you can, do me a link. Send me something to remind me to go share your podcast. I want to do that. You guys do a great job. And I certainly want to give you more of a shout out. Thank you for everything you've done with respect. What have I done? Thank you for everything I've done. Much respect to me, man. What have I done? Oh, Flo. Well, here I am stealing Flo's valor. I mean, how low can I sink for crying out loud? Good God. Keith. It's my Perth education. I forget to start at the beginning of a sentence. I start in the middle because it's faster to read that way. Anyway, in all seriousness, 100%, as Scott said, and I constantly point out in his program, thank you to Flo and your comrades in arms. Thank you. Flo, I apologize for. Please don't send the Stolen Valor police after me. It was totally my mistake. Oh, God. By the way, I'm not laughing about Stolen Valor. It's a horrible thing. One of the best. You guys know how much I love Last Man Standing with Tim Allen. One of the best episodes revolved around a guy who was pretending to be somebody he was not. It was very funny the way they pointed it out. Davey took 4 different teams to the postseason, should be in the Hall of Fame. It's funny. I'm going to say yes, but I mean, how do I continue to bash Aaron Boone and say Davey should be in the Hall of Fame? He won a lot of games. I have the same argument about Billy Martin. I think Billy Martin belongs in the Hall of Fame. But then I try to justify it, Billy won one World Series. But Aaron Boone hasn't won any, so I can justify it that way. I think Davey kind of belongs in the Hall of Fame. You don't go to 4 different places, 4 different ownerships, 4 different groups of players, and turned. I think every one of them. The Mets need to be turned around. They were on their way, but they need to be turned around. The Reds, I believe, were really bad in the season he took over, midway through. The Dodgers were not doing great. The Orioles had not been doing great. But 96 team pushed the Yankees to the brink. Thank you, Jeffrey Mayer. Hopefully you guys know what that reference is to. But yeah, I love Davey. Very underrated manager. Did a great job with the Nationals. I was upset when the Nationals cut ties with Davey. And he had some, I like Davey too, because he had some disagreements with the Nationals organization about the usage of Steven Strasburg, and they thought they were babying him, which probably led to his arm injuries. Y'all should have a show together every 4 weeks next year. Sure. What are we talking about? I didn't get a chance to pick, and I'll do my picks here in a little bit, and I'll give you guys, I'm going to give you I'm going to quickly give you, in fact, I'll give them to you now so we can start to get some comments up about this, because again, I want to be out of here in an hour and 45 minutes. Oh no, hour and 15 minutes. I'm excited to see what Henderson and the Patriots do today in Foxborough. I think he and Stevenson are going to be a great combination out of that backfield. A little concerned about the defense today. The backfield's really banged up, including Gonzalez, our best cornerback. I'm concerned about containing Brock Bauer, but I'm excited to see this team, I think, win. And Mike Vrabel, I think, in a very short period of time has instilled his what he wants this team to look like. And we'll get to see it for real for the first time today. On that note, I want to give you my picks. I'll do my game picks in a minute, but I want to throw out there real quickly. I'll just give you we did this on the Jack and Keith weekend update. Here's my picks by division. The division winners: Buffalo, Cincinnati, into the AFC. Buffalo, Cincinnati, Houston, and the Chiefs. Yes, even I'm not changing. Wild card teams: Broncos, Patriots. 9-8 gets them in. Ravens. In the NFC, Redskins, or team formerly known as Lions, Bucks, Rams. Wild cards would be Bears, Vikings, Eagles. I have Buffalo over Denver in the AFC Championship game. I have the Lions over the team formerly known as the Redskins in the NFC Championship game. And I have Buffalo beating the Lions in a high-scoring, exciting Super Bowl. And Buffalo finally getting over the hump after all these decades. That's my picks for the divisions and right through the Super Bowl. I'll do my game picks here in just a second. I don't think that ball lady really got fired. Maybe, I don't know, AC. I heard it this morning. Jack was talking about it. So I'll check it out more today, and he and I will talk about it on the show tomorrow morning. A lot of those reports on who she is are actually wrong. You got to be very careful what you find on social media. I did not see the report, quite frankly. I should have probably qualified my comment with that. If she was fired, I think it's a little overkill. Maybe she should be, though. Because Jack said, well, one bad moment. I guarantee you this woman's had a lot of bad moments in her life. Because people who actually know what the right thing to do is, don't do that. Ever. So we'll find out whether she got fired, and I'll do some research. But, guys, I'm going to tell you 100%. I know it's happened to some of you guys here. It's happened to me. There's nothing I see posted on social media that I do not go fact check and look for a real source. because and make sure it's a real source, right? Because there's a lot of fake crap out there. Guys dying, TV shows coming back, sequels to movies, people getting fired. Philly's running away, I think, with the NL East. He says Dodgers and Padres, one game. Listen, the Dodgers lost 5 in a row. Nobody's hardly making up any ground. The Padres ought to be in first, but they're only still a game back. Giants are 4 back. Now, again, Giants are 4 back in the maybe they're 4 back in the I got to do something with my font, my computer, because it's too big. Giants are 4 back in the wild card, 6 in the division. It doesn't sound like a lot, but there's 20 games left, guys. Lots can happen. Dodgers have got to be concerned. Got to be concerned. I think the D-backs are. Again, are they in the race or not? I mean, yeah, 4 games, but with 20 games left, say you're the Diamondbacks, you got to crawl over 2 teams, not just one. Somebody's got to be winning, right? They got to crawl over the Mets and the Giants to get there. Even the Reds, I guess you could say, are back in it at 5 back, but 20 games left. Magic numbers are shrinking. Let's see, what's does ESPN calculate the odds of, say, the Diamondbacks? Even with where they are, 2.8% chance of making the playoffs. The Giants, 4.4%. Are there any of these outsiders? The Rangers had a decent hot streak, only a 12% chance of making the playoffs. The Royals only a game behind the Mariners right now. I still feel like if the Mariners can get in there, they'll do some damage. But Yankees trying to stay alive. Listen, Judge played right field the other day, and I don't know how much he's going to be able to play right field. His arm is still not right. I'm afraid he's going to hurt it worse. And the Yankees are certainly a far worse team with him DHing than not in right field. Scott, Sacramento State should have won yesterday. I didn't see their score either. How about my Patriots, Flo? I already booked it. I have I got a future bet on the Patriots making the playoffs and a future bet on the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, which you're not going to do. But how do you pass those odds up? Take a shot. This team is much better, as I've said. And I've had to listen to Jack, and we'll probably talk about it weekly, about all the dissension in New England. There's no dissension in New England. What you're seeing in press conferences with Mike Vrabel is Mike Vrabel's personality. And he likes to mess with people, and it was verbal jousting. It was nothing dissension. He's not unhappy. That team's going as far as the offensive line and the defensive backfield takes them. That's my opinion. And I guess I should say the trenches. Their games are, what happens in the trenches is going to be very important to this team. We need a pass rush. That's how best to defend the pass. And you need to be able to protect your quarterback and open up some lanes for Stevenson and Henderson to hit. Henderson is a tremendous weapon for Drake May in year 2. And what a difference for Drake May in year 2 getting Josh McDaniel and not Matt Patricia to be his offensive coordinator. Totally destroyed Mac Jones, and ain't chance Mac Jones had to have an NFL career. Great job. Michael says, Chris, I'm glad teams have to pay players what they are worth if they want to put a good team on the ice. Listen, I'm a free market guy. That's why I'm not a socialist. You should get what you're worth. We don't need to redistribute the wealth. If you got enough money, you spend the money and put a good team together. Big news this morning. Yes, Jameson Williams gets a 3-year, $83 million extension. Talking about free capitalism, free trade. A good move by the Lions, right? And listen, that's going to look like a really good contract the way wide receivers are getting paid these days when they hit free agency or before. The bottom line sports flow, I'm very hopeful. The bottom line sports, about the Patriots, right? Like Williams last year. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Who are we talking about? What Williams are we talking about? Paul, help me out, bud. Great point about having a floor for cap sports. If there's a minimum, if there's a maximum, there should indeed be a minimum. 100%. Some of these teams don't even try to freaking win. It's embarrassing, and it's not good for the sport. I mean, I joke about this all the time, right? The Colorado Rockies have let me down. They're not chasing the loss record. I'm being sarcastic mostly because I don't want to see teams that bad every single year. But every year that I've done this show, somebody's been bad enough to be able to challenge it and, in fact, break it last year. Right? If you buy the Yankees, it costs more than buying another team, except maybe the Dodgers. So let capitalism cook for sure. I agree. Listen, and again, buying the Yankees when George... One of the great stories is the Yankees sold for like $9.9 million in 1973 when George Steinbrenner bought them. And the story goes that George Steinbrenner put up about $10,000. I've heard anything from $10,000 to $100,000 of his own money. He was a minority partner, and he maneuvered his way into very quickly being the majority partner. He wasn't going to do that. He was going to be very quiet, stay there in Cleveland, build chips. We know how that worked out. Well, now he's got an organization worth, I don't know what they're worth today. I'll say $5 billion. I think the Cowboys are still the most expensive, or I shouldn't say expensive. The highest valued at around between $7 and $9 billion. I think I did mention Alcaraz against Sinner today in the men's final of the U.S. Open. Didn't see any of the. Danny was talking about it yesterday. That it was a good match between Sabalenka and Asmanov. I'm probably saying both their names wrong. I apologize. She won her second consecutive U.S. Open, and these two guys today are playing for the final. In the final, in their third consecutive Grand Slam. So congratulations to them. And if you don't want to watch football, you got some tennis. Me, unfortunately, I'll be on football. Now, when the NL made rule changes to increase offense, it made for the end of goons, which I don't know is good for the game either. I don't know. As teams now have to fill their rosters, goons come cheap, and they could debate. And you could debate, we now have more goons than ever. I'm saying goons. I'm going to say goons one more time. Listen, hockey, that's part of hockey, right? I mean, it's ingrained in a game and has been since the very beginning, right? The old joke that I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. And you shouldn't legislate. All these sports want to legislate all this stuff out of it, right? We got to cut the violence because our children aren't influenced by fights at hockey games. The parents might be. Here's where all you. Let me be careful of what I say. Here's where all you high and mighty. I don't know the word I want to use. All of you who think there's too much violence in in video games, and there probably is. There's so much violence in sports. There's too much violence here. How about you stop being violent and teaching your kids bad behavior at their Little League games and their Pee Wee football games? How about you do that before you start telling me I shouldn't be watching pro football with my granddaughter or seeing a hockey game with young kids? Really, that's where they learn the violence? You don't think they learn it from their own parents and their own homes and the only thing that go on? How about you be a parent? Why does everybody else got to parent your kid? The schools have to parent your kid. Now the networks and major sports leagues need to parent your kids and make sure they don't see anything offensive or anything that might turn them violent. God. That's my rant for the day. Thanks for having me. Ironic that Parsons is questionable today after all the hype. He's got an epidural on Thursday or Friday. Say what you want about Jerry. Jerry talked about his health, and he hadn't missed a lot of games. We had this debate. Somebody had mentioned that he missed a lot more games than he had, but he did miss 4 or 5 games last year. Back issues are some of the worst things to try to overcome in sports, regardless of what sport we're talking about. Having watched the demise of Don Mattingly as a Yankee fan, I get it. And a lot of other players. And the fact that he's already limited today, they said he'll play, by the way, but he would be limited. And I did find out from Jack that they never lie. They're going to play just as much as they say they are. So apparently these teams never, ever give misleading information. Is my head shaking? Because I want it to be. But he's getting epidural game 1. We're not going to know who wins this trade for a couple of years, guys. Fields is really good. He's going to help the middle of that defensive line with the Cowboys. And I don't know if the Cowboys are better based off of last night's or Thursday night's results. I still don't know. We don't know. I'm not basing who's good or bad off of 1 week results, including my team. Patriots go out there and wax the Raiders 40-0, which I don't think they will. And I'm not going to tell you, oh, well, we're going 17-0. I'll still tell you we're probably going 9-8. Because this is a team we should beat at home. If this team's going to be any good, this team should beat this team at home. Scott, I don't think you disagree with me. Well, there we go. My Cowboys are for real. Did you buy the team? No, it's fine. I'm kidding. I'm based off of what? So one game, again, this is not just you. It goes back to what I just talked about. I'm not going to tell you when the Patriots kick the Raiders' ass today that they're for real. They need to beat this team. And I think that game the other night, the Cowboys played okay. I did see a guy who wants to claim to be the best receiver in football dropped 3 catchable balls that affected the game greatly. They certainly benefited for the fact that the best defensive player on either team got himself thrown out of the game by spitting in Dak Prescott's face. Disgusting, uncalled for. He needed to be thrown out. I did not know that Dak also, did I say Zach several times? I'm sorry. Dak Prescott also was a spitter, but he's just a spitter. He spits around the field, not at people. But apparently he spit too close to Carter and he spit back. You don't spit at each other. It's one of the most despicable acts one person can do to another in my mind. I mean, short of killing them and other, civilized people don't spit at each other. I'll give you a lot of violence on the football field and say it happens in the heat of the game. Spitting shouldn't be one of them. Anyway, I saw a Cowboy team like most Cowboy teams I've seen. Are they improved? The pass rush was fine without Parsons, but maybe they shouldn't have been pressuring Hurts as much as they did. I can argue that game plan was badly flawed because they couldn't contain him once they pressured him. So anyway, Flo, I don't know. I'm not making a lot of snap judgments. I'll talk to you on October 1st, because we haven't played any preseason games. Some teams are going to stink and lose. Like, I'm not writing the Chiefs off after losing by 7 in Brazil. Junkins gets his get out of jail free card and then signs with the Browns. Typical NFL stuff, you know. Don't let the air out of footballs. You get my typical, do not let the air out of footballs, dude. But you can do whatever else you got to do, and we'll bring you back and give you a big payday. Browns are famous for this anyway. The massage molester. Is that what we call him, Drew? I forget. You know, look what they did for him. How's Baker Mayfield doing, Browns fans? Unbelievable. Michael was commenting on our show earlier, but now I don't see him anywhere. It's very weird. I don't know what's going on with Michael having trouble to comment on our show here. And maybe he couldn't get here. Hopefully he's here somewhere. I'm looking ahead. I don't see him anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. Love Michael, too. I miss Michael on the shows. I messaged him last night and asked him to go through National Streaming Sports, where we simulcast the show, too. And he was commenting this morning on the Big Football Show, but not seeing him anywhere. My head is beautiful. Am I that far behind that we're just commenting on my penis head? Guys, we tend to fall behind because, you know, it's a lot of comments. You guys are throwing a lot of great stuff at me, and I got to make my comments. So we try to stay ahead. Just keep on mind at 10:45, I'm cutting us off. So I do everything I can to get to all your comments, and I will. That doesn't mean stop commenting now. Herbert threw for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns in a run-dominated offense. Well, you take what's given you. That's what good coaches do. Kansas City takes away the run, you throw the football. You take away the passion, run the football. That is simple. It's not a hard game. And listen, I'm a Jim Harbaugh fan. I don't have the Chargers making the playoffs this year. I don't think highly of Springfield, even if I did play. That's right, you're a Massachusetts guy. Even if we did play in junior, you did play junior hockey in Springfield? Cool. Let's not go that far. I don't know. I need just a little bit of clue where we're going back to. Remember, I'm 30 minutes behind, so I don't know what you might have been referring to. Oh, maybe he's talking about my head. Oh, God. Thank you for that. If that's what you're talking about, thank you. Thank you, too, Paul, because you're absolutely right. When Ripken was moved to third base for the first time, Orioles fans, for Orioles fans to get to know Manny Alexander, who went on to great things, didn't he, Chris? Playing in big Ronald McDonald shoes at shortstop. I mean, look, Ripken at that time in his career probably should have been moved off a shortstop, but that was a tough. Was that it wasn't Davy Johnson who moved him off of there, was it? Was it Davy Johnson who moved Cal to third? I don't remember. We Hall of Fame NBA class not making the trip this year. Well, it's over. They did it yesterday. And it wasn't the NBA class. This was the Naismith Hall of Fame. So I don't know who. I don't even know if we have an NBA Hall of Fame thing coming up. I don't know who it is. All I know is the Naismith inductions were yesterday. So when's the NBA class going? Troy gave Dabo heart palpitations. Shame they could not pull the upset. Smoking like a true South Carolina guy. Let me. That thing's hard to drink out of. I gotta get a straw for the ride. Real quick, let's go to yesterday. I'll give you a quick update since Neil has broached Clemson. I'll give you a quick update on the college football pool and how everybody did yesterday and where we stand. And yesterday's week 2 action, Neil, 2 weeks in a row with 7 wins. Great job. Led the way, honoring Jim Marshall. That's Rick. James both had 7. Boomer Sooner, who's Alan, had 6. Brian had 5. FWP, I don't know if I ever figured out who that was. Boston Paul, Danny, myself all had 5, and one of our generic ESPN guys had 3. And then we had 3. We did have somebody who didn't pick last week. No, didn't pick this week. So we had 3 no-shows who probably are not going to be relevant. In the overall scoring, Neil is up with 14 winners. J-Train with 13. Alan with 13. Myself with 12. Steve, Rick. FWP, Brian, Danny, all with 11. Paul's got 10. And then we had somebody, like I said, the rest are probably going to drop out. The guys who have played 2 weeks, there's an ESPN generic who is at 6 for 2 weeks. That's not a good start. That looks like one of my starts. So we'll get to the football picks here in just a little bit. Nice casino, however. In Springfield? By the way, going back to Troy, I loved Brian Kelly's. I should have pulled it up. I'm not going to try now. Can I find it? If you didn't see Brian Kelly's comments about Dabo and the Clemson game, they are worth checking out. Let me see. Brian Kelly grading vid. Let me see if I can find it quick. If I can't, no big deal. That's not even close, is it? Oh, here it is. Let me just key this up. I hope this is it. Get through the commercial here for a second. I'll replay it. Bear with me a second while I do this, because it's worth watching. And this goes back to the comments. Crap. Never mind. I'm not going to bother with it. I've got the wrong video. I don't want to. Should have got it ready before. Anyway, what Brian said was basically, Dabo would grade his team of 58, and I think LSU was 62. I think we both played well. And Brian Kelly said in an interview that, I don't know where he gets his grading from. I'm paraphrasing. I think he was probably kind of generous with his own team score, and I think he might have, graded us too low and on a curve or whatever. And in fact, maybe he didn't watch the second half of the football game, which I thought was awesome. Carmelo, listen, I'm not a big fan of Dwight Howard. Carmelo belongs in the Hall of Fame. I'm not a big fan of Dwight Howard. I'm okay with that bash. I'm not okay with bashing Sue Bird, who is, I think, the best women's basketball player in WNBA of all time, and there's been some good ones, and Sue Bird's been my favorite. But listen, I'm not going to say that Billy Donovan, and this wasn't by the way, you guys got to remember, this wasn't the NBA inductions. Because Billy Donovan's in there for winning 2 national championships in college. He's done nothing in the NBA. to speak of. He's a good coach, right? Naismith Hall of Fame. Again, Rick might be talking about something totally different, Paul. I'm not sure. You better believe I'm gambling. I have 5 or 6 bets so far. I'm in the casino. Dave Steve had 4 no-hitters blowing up in the 9th before his first no-hitter. Nolan Ryan tied for all-time lead with Bob Feller with 12 one-hitters to go with 7 no-hitters. Imagine if he just converted 3 more, he'd have 10 no-hitters. And he threw his last one at 44 years old. Best video ever, Nolan Ryan kicking the crap out of Robin Ventura. End of story. Birthday time. I'm way behind. Heliot Ramos. I seriously have no clue at this moment. Sandy Alcantara, we know the pitcher. Wade Davis, pitcher. Mark Pryor, former pitcher with the Cubs. I believe Mark Pryor was on the mound during the famous Bartman ball incident. I could be wrong about that, but Mark Pryor was a really good pitcher. Never flamed out. Like after a year and a half. Jason Isringhausen, Mets prospect, traded to the A's and did well there in the Cardinals after he converted him to a reliever. Darren Bragg, outfielder. Willie Crawford, outfielder. With the Dodgers and the Astros, I think. Joe Rudy with the A's mostly, Angels, Red Sox. Barry Lurch. Barry Lurch or Randy Lurch? I don't know Barry Lurch. I know Randy Lurch. I had him on my show. Wrote a great book. So I don't know Barry Lurch. Tom Matchick, Hooks, Witsy, don't know. The household name, Speck Roberts. I was hoping for a different last name. Ginger Chenault and Tommy Johns. Not Tommy John. Maybe this is the guy with the underwear or whatever the hell it is, and not the arm surgery. I used to be my door. I hope the maid's not here. I'm awful, right? I inadvertently stole Flo's valor. Believe me, there's one thing. There's a lot of things I've done in my life. I shouldn't say that. It sounds like I'm a horrible person. I'm not a horrible person. I would never, ever consider stealing anybody's valor. I think you know that. And I see the laughs. It's funny. It was very funny because I just stopped. And Drew always tells me, read the whole sentence. Drew knows he tells me this. I got this little cheat system where I just read half of it and think it's enough. Apparently. Here's what I have the Patriots. 2.5. That's what I have here today. 2 today. And I think they're going to be a bet today as well. Tommy John's 100 years old before Tommy John. Tommy, 100 years or so before Tommy John, we all know. Tommy, I wish I had Tommy out at a different time. He was really, and he hasn't been in the best of health the last several years, but when I had him on, he was really in bad shape with the neck situation. And but still, he was a great interview. And his wife popped in. We had a lot of fun. I still follow Tommy and Cheryl on Facebook. They're good people. Rick Sherlock, the casino is okay, but took an extra 50 minutes of driving, and I can go be at Mohegan or Foxwoods. And every time I do good at the MGM, there are people watching by the exits. Definitely not safe at night. At Springfield, I don't listen. I'm not a big fan of Springfield. Have not even been to the Basketball Hall of Fame. We used to stop on the way back from Patriot games. We would actually stop in Chicopee, not Springfield, to watch the end of the 4:00 games and have a bite to eat. And Chicopee, very famous for their kielbasa. Going out there for kielbasa as well. And the closest I've been to Springfield is when we've gone to Agawam to go to Six Flags. So there you have it. Danny Fuller. That is not Davy Johnson's record. That's his record with the Mets, right? Davy Johnson won, I don't know, 1,200 games. MLB manager wins. I got to keep an eye on the clock here. Hold on. See if I get him on this list. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, Davy Johnson, 1,372 wins, 1,071 losses, and 2 ties. Which, by the way, is more wins than, let's see, who's in the Hall of Fame. I think that was his record with the Mets. I'm pretty sure, Danny. Where is he? Looking for guys. So he had more wins than Whitey Herzog. Did Whitey win 2 World Series? I'm not aware of. He won 1, I believe, correct? So if Whitey Herzog's in the Hall of Fame, I'm just making a case. Okay. Joe Cronin's in there. I don't think Joe Cronin won any World Series. He won 1,236 games. Harry Wright, I don't know. Lou Boudreau might have won. Frank Robinson, he's in as a player, though. Red Shanedane's 1,041. Again, that's not awful. Is that awful? I don't know. I still think he belongs in there myself. I think Billy belongs in there. You know, I had this conversation. Billy Martin won 1,253 games and won a World Series. Again, he left things in disarray when he left, but he turned every team he was on or managed around and won a World Series in New York. But Earl Weaver's in there with what? And by the way, they both had better winning percentages than, say, Earl Weaver. I might be wrong. 583. 562, my bad. Billy, 553. So anyway, and Weaver's got 1 World Series. It's debatable. Former Toronto Argonaut owner John Candy has a documentary on his life debuting at the Toronto International Film Festival. Is predicted to clean up in the awards. I've heard a lot of really good things about this, and a lot of the people that work with John Candy are still very touched and moved to this day about the loss of John Candy, and I'm looking forward to this film myself. Very famously, by the way, when the 49ers were driving on the Bengals in Super Bowl whatever, Bill Walsh's last Super Bowl win, when they took the ball 92 yards or whatever it was on the Bengals to win the game, John Taylor catches the touchdown. In the huddle, as they neared the end zone, Joe is pointing out the fact that, isn't that John Candy in the stands? Cool Joe. Mariners starting pitching in a playoff series would be lethal. If they get in, they'll win the AL. Listen, I'm rooting for the Yankees, right? I like the Mariners' chances in a short series with that pitching, but they've been very up and down this year, nearly as bad as the Rangers. But I'll send it to you after I win it. How about that? It's a small bet. Vrabel should never have been fired from the Titans. Don't disagree. He was, because he wouldn't cuss it 100%. You know, finally somebody gets this. Well, besides Patriot fans, it was because he wouldn't kiss butt of the new GM that came in. That guy is one of the top 2 coaches I want for my team. There you go. Oh, Dan Campbell being the one you have. Listen, I love Vrabel to death. And people who don't think he can coach, he went to he went to an AFC Championship game in his second season, and before he got there, this team won like 5 games in 2 years. So keep that in perspective. He made the playoffs the first year he's there. He went to the AFC Championship game the second year without a quarterback. Just saying. The guy can coach. Paul, it's not helping me. Lamar Cardinals upset number 4. Oh, that's a big win. The FCS I don't pay enough attention to, quite frankly, or is the FBS. So I mix that up all the time. Hold on. I did. You know what I do? FCS, right? There it is. I should pay more attention to it. Albany State plays in it. When the playoffs come, I pay attention. And the Dakotas are always good. So nice win for Lamar. Congratulations to Lamar. You like those teams down there in Texas? Enforcer, not Goons. I like Goons. I kind of like Goons. In fact, there's a movie, I think, about NHL enforcers that is called Goons. I think. Documentary. Bob Probert, Joe Kakor, Tiger Williams. How about who's it? Derek Sanderson. Who's the guy who had all the minutes for Philadelphia? And oh God, there's a bunch of guys. The Broad Street Bullies had a ton of guys. They set records. I think it was Philadelphia, Minnesota set the record for penalty minutes with like 1,000. I don't even know if that's possible, but hockey enforcers not fighting, but enforcing other teams taking deep shots against their stars necessary. Agreed. I'm okay with the fighting too, by the way. It's just part of the game. Because when you're going to do the things that enforcers, and I'll call them goons because they are, I'm okay with that. I guarantee you they don't find it derogatory. And if they do, then be offended. I can't help that. It's what we do in this country anyway. Also, I bet the double on the Ravens. I bet double on the Ravens. I love them tonight in Buffalo. I don't. I like Buffalo tonight. The first time I came home from watching a minor league hockey game, I told my mother how cool was the goon. How cool the goon was she. What? First time I came home from watching minor league hockey game, I told my mother how cool the goon was. Oh, I see the comma's in the wrong place. She slapped my father and said, "What the F did you teach him to say?" Another spitting incident yesterday. I did mention that. It is just discussing his behavior, disrespectful. There's no more disrespectful thing you can do to a person without killing them or raping them, right? You know, within the helm of human decency, this is at the bottom of it. And it also potentially cost Florida a win. Because South Florida was backed up to they're 15, I think, on that last drive. This got them to the 30. They quickly took the ball down the field and won the game. And it's more evidence that Billy Napier is in over his head at Florida. He started to get himself off that hot seat last year. I started to even say maybe he'll be okay. All his losses last year were top 15 teams, but there were still losses. They had 5 losses. Now they've got one to an unranked team who now has beaten 2 ranked teams in a row. And they get LSU next week. He should suspend this kid. I'm talking about just yesterday. Thursday night's incident, that's stupid, ridiculous. I don't care if Dak spit near you. If Dak's a spitter, not spitting at people, I don't know how you feel about that in sports. Baseball players just spit forever. I don't think Dak is spitting at guys. I think he just, from what I've read, he just spits. And he spit a little too close to Carter, and Carter spit at him. On him. Stupid. 6 seconds into the game, you likely cost your team that game. I'm sorry. You could have cost your team that game. I personally think that Cowboys' offensive attack is much less productive with Carter in the game. I mean, how can you make an argument otherwise? Lamar's in FCS 1AA now. It was on ESPN, was it? There's so many games, and I put as many on as I can. That one didn't make my radar yesterday. I apologize. I go through ESPN Plus, and we'll kind of click from game to game, and for whatever reason, I just never clicked on that one. Tiger Woods' new course designs for Augusta coming to fruition now. I've got a bunch of comments on your Keith Engle page. I'll have to take a look. I have not seen, but by the way, don't be changing the course layout at Augusta. Tiger Woods, Jack Nicholson. If your name's not Bobby Jones, leave the frickin' thing alone. I'll check that out, Chris. We got to change everything. Why does everything have to change? Always. Rick loves Mohegan Sun, went there for the Hall of Fame ceremony during COVID. I remember you talking about that. This must be darts. I'm looking for, darts emojis there. Gerwin Price against Johnny Clayton. Where are they playing, CA? Scott Colby. Two Patriot fans agreeing with each other 1,000%. Very unbiased opinions. But in fairness to me and my unbiased opinion, I am very hard on my teams. If you have spent 5 years with me and you don't think I'm very hard on my teams, you're just not paying attention. And especially recently, whatever. I mean, I defend guys as well. The Brady nonsense, but I'm hard on my teams. Rick, the girls are always hotter at the Sun, which is important to know. AC's obviously younger than we are, Rick. Camel spit at people. Don't be a camel. That's I think that's a great tagline. Maybe the NFL should put that in the end zone. Sorry. NFC North versus AFC West shall make up 50% of the NFL playoffs. What do I have? Am I close to that? I don't think I am. I think I only have the Chiefs from the AFC West. Although, two. I got two. That's not a bad call, but that's going to be hard. I don't even know if mathematically you can do it. Can you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you could. Because there is a chance one of those leagues will get. I almost put all four teams in from the NFC North. Almost. You can see here where I've crossed. Vikings got added late. And I had the Green Bay in there and crossed them out and put the Eagles in because I just can't see the Eagles not making the playoffs. So of the how many teams are there? 7, 14. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7, 4 of the 14. So I'm a little below. Well, I guess quite a ways below your prediction there, CA, but it's possible. I think one of those leagues has a chance to get all 4 of their teams in. The Raiders are going to be better, although they're going to get beat today. When I'm going to play poker, I like a little cooler in the woods, like Foxwoods. No one. What do you got here, Flo? No one caused game. Well, I've been saying this the opposite. Oh, not because of one. I see. Not because of one game. I see. I've been saying in the offseason in 2024, key injuries on a D lost Dak and lost Dak by game 8. I see, and it looks like Shoddy has a more buttoned up and knows how to use more motion on offense. I do like what some of the things that I saw out of the offense and the formations and the movement. I do like a lot of that flow. I think this team will be better. I just don't think they're going to make the playoffs. That division's too good. I toyed with putting them in the playoffs, quite frankly. And I just couldn't push them over the top. So we'll see. I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm not a Cowboys hater. You're going to find out I'm not a Cowboys hater. In fact, I've always promoted Dak, except he doesn't win in the playoffs. Paul, are you okay over there? You haven't had a stroke or anything, have you? I feel bad. Danny, if you have Paul's number, please check out him. LSU is proof that you don't make judgments on a team after one game. They struggled a little bit yesterday, right? What did they do yesterday? 23-7. Yeah, whatever. You get a little letdown too. These cupcake games can go either way. And I think they paid speaking of money, by the way, I believe Louisiana Tech got $1.5 million to come get their ass kicked here. They didn't get their ass kicked. They played a very good football game. Again, I'm not going to judge. I'm not judging anything off these last 2 weeks. I'm judging somebody like South Florida a lot differently than I'll judge these other teams. They've played two quality opponents and beat them both. A lot of teams still, if you've played one good team, one bad team, I'm not sure what to make of whatever. Give me another. Again, it's almost like the NFL. You got to give me 3-4 games, and I'll start making judgments. Karens want their baseball, and when they don't deserve it, don't give Karen her baseball. Just smile and move along. I agree. Go watch the video of this woman, guys. She's pathetic. Good morning, Dave Guyette out in Amsterdam. How are you? Spitting at someone is a terrible thing to do, 100%. I think we can all agree spitting is bad. Paul didn't want me to comment about your head versus mine. He was trying to champion that beautiful dome here. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I figured that out. Thank you. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt there. You're in a foxhole or something. Oh, I hope you're not, by the way. Michael, I can tell you Karen wouldn't have received the ball from me, especially with her grab of my shoulder, right? Seriously, does anybody think that this is this woman's first foray into acting like an ass? Excuse me, I don't have any other thing to say. Yeah, I doubt this is an isolated instance in her life. And AC will do some more research on whether she was fired or not. I hope she was. Davey was indeed the manager of the Orioles. And yeah, thank you, Drew. July 1996 when Ripken was moved to third. Sometimes the memory works. Sometimes it does not. Very controversial at the time. But look, at that point, Cal was not a good shortstop any longer. Listen, I'm the biggest Derek Jeter fan in the world. He probably shouldn't have been playing shortstop his last 3-4 years. When A-Rod got there, as much as I hate A-Rod, Derek Jeter should have moved to third or center field. And A-Rod should have been the shortstop. Just saying. 10-10. I just don't know. I took the pools off. I didn't want to embarrass all you guys. You took the pools off? You're not in? What do you mean you took the pools off? Sanders' fumble cost the Cowboys a golden opportunity to put the Eagles behind with the Chiefs next week. True. Hoop talk. It's a little early for hoop talk, right? Keith, we have a new story for you. And TGI Sports Talk's in the can. We'll send it to you after today's games. I don't want to muddy your day. I won't get to it today. Tonight, maybe, when I get back home. Enjoy the games with the boys today. I will. For sure, I will. My favorite time of year. The only time I get to see a lot of the people that I've known my whole life. And I feel honored in the fact that I can still go back and see them. And we pick it up like we never left off. There's a lot of ball busting that goes on, and we have a lot of fun. And I will say, Joe, you'll be missed, buddy. We'll have a Coors Light on the bar for you. Sue Bird, tenacious and the epitome of tough and class throughout her entire career. Much respect. I agree. Hashtag respect. I agree. And Hoop Talk, Raptors Scotty Barnes looking to hold a leadership role at only 24 years of age, 6'7", 234-pound forward, was Rookie of the Year at 20 years of age. There's no reason a 24-year-old can't be a leader. Mark Pryor is now the pitching coach for Danny Fuller's pesky Dodgers. Is he really? I did not know this. Thank you for that information. What a phenom, man. He was good. And I'm going to tell you, that is about the time they started wrecking pitchers in my mind, and getting scared. And certain pitchers today. The not so pesky today. Now 5 in a row down. Danny, are you worried? I mean, there's now a chance, and I would never have said this a few weeks ago. I got to get to my football picks, don't I? There's now a chance they don't make the playoffs. Is that accurate? No, I don't know if it is. So the Padres are one behind them. The Padres have a 1-game lead over. No, they got a 4-game lead over the Giants. Very unlikely with 20 games, so it should be safe. But got to step it up in the playoffs. Fantasy update on last day of the season. This week's matchups is a nail biter, 10-10. Keith's down only 8-11 against number 3 Neil's, kicking Drew's ass at 14-2. One more week in the regular season and the playoffs. My season's over. Hello, Earl. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. I think we talked with Earl on Wednesday. Bulldogs need to get. We did. To get the run game going. They struggled a little bit. This Georgia-Tennessee matchup next week is going to be very interesting in Rocky Top. There's Michael Gott. Good to have you with us, Michael. I was hoping you were able to comment through National Streaming Sports. I have no idea what the deal is, and you and I, at some point, will have a conversation. I'm going to try to set a time with you through Teams where we can get on, and we'll do a little video chat if you're okay with that, and we'll try to make this work. I got to get on there as a different person and try to comment from the YouTube page. Is anybody commenting from the? Maybe it's, but you were having trouble on Facebook, you said as well, I think. So I don't know. I get so confused. Where is everybody today? Who's out here that I haven't said hello to, by the way? We got a bunch of people on X, a bunch of people on TGI Sports Talk, a bunch of people on the TGI Sports Talk YouTube page. If you guys are commenting and not seeing it, please let me know. National Streaming Sports. We got 5 people coming through there now. We better not lose that feed. And then none on my page today. That's weird. My personal page. Danny Fuller, good morning, Captain, my captain. I don't know. NBA Hall of Fame had the worst class. I don't know, again, this wasn't the NBA Hall of Fame. Oh, that has the worst Hall of Fame altogether. Yesterday was a Naismith. You guys understand this, right? And again, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. Yesterday's awards were the Naismith Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame in Springfield is the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It is the Basketball Hall of Fame. Hence, Billy Donovan getting in for 2 national championships in college. So I'm not sure we're talking apples and apples. I don't even know if there is an NBA Hall of Fame. I have no idea. Dan Mullen with a nice win yesterday, Earl. Thank you. All over the Rebels last night. Sorry, Danny. Deshaun Foster looks to be in over his head. I'm all set up for week 1. Armchair position and snacks at the ready. Good to have you back, Michael. So now you know how to get here and find your way, and hopefully maybe we can figure out what's going on with your commenting. At some point, as I said, when I have some time, we're going away for like 3 days this week, so I probably won't have time this week, but we'll do a Teams chat. We can do it live video wise if that helps you. If you're amenable to that, we can share screens and we can see if we can pinpoint what the issue is or who to go complain about it. Michael said Billy Martin would have been a natural in the Real Housewives of New York alongside. I don't know who that is. Oh, Therese Gidice would have been a ratings gold. I watched like one episode of this show when it was just the Real Housewives of Orange County or something in California. That's all I needed to see. Ex-Major League Baseball player Matt Keogh and his wife were on that. And the only episode I saw, she was talking to him. He walked away, locked himself in the bedroom, and that was that. Seriously, John Candy, a wonderful human being. If all the stories you read are even half true, that man was genuine and truly cared about people. Plus he did some fine acting. And again, not everybody loves John Candy. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a must-watch for me every Thanksgiving. Tremendous movie. All right, guys, I got about 15 minutes left, so I got a lot of comments to get through. We got to start flying, or I'm going to leave some out. Here are some of the live game day mornings and Steelers Giants along the Red Zone. By the way, get ready to watch commercials on the Red Zone. Thank you, ESPN. Welcome to ESPN Red Zone. Good stuff. Barry Lurch, Philly starter, unrelated to, I do not remember Barry. Oh, it's spelled differently. No, you might have it right. Helio Ramos, outfielder with the Giants right now. Just haven't paid that much attention to him, apparently. And Magic, backup infielder for 5 teams, mainly the Tigers. Michael Gott, again, thanks for participating in our show yesterday from Flo. Michael's a great guy over there in the UK, and I've been trying so desperately these last, I don't know, it's been a month or something. Michael hasn't been able to comment on the show. And it just hit me, Michael, and I apologize that we've been sharing the show all this time to National Streaming Sports, and I think CA told me that that's where he's coming in from. Nico made a big mistake leaving Tennessee. UCLA stinks bad. Nico's got some bad people. His father seems to be like a nut job. You think you're going to hold a team hostage, and thank you, Josh Heupel, for just saying no, leave, and he did. I think I won't call it a trade. I'll call it a trade-off. I think Tennessee got the better of that trade-off. Yes, it is free today, today only, and also get ready for commercials. If you're an NFL Red Zone fan like I am, when I am home, I do watch the Red Zone, and always like the commercial-free aspect of it. Welcome to ESPN. Bottom Line Sports, thank you. Enjoyed it enormously. From Michael. Hoots Wilsey was a great starter on the New York Giants. Teamed with Christy Mathewson to make one of the best righty-lefty combinations. Retired to his hometown of Syracuse when he was done. Good stuff. Rick Tocchet, spell check over 1,800 minutes with the Flyers. I think that's probably, I think you might be right on the spelling, but I'm not the right guy to ask. Also, Keith, I found a great app for my Android phone. It's Dan's that helps me watch college football yesterday. Great. Try Fubo. Fubo, too. It will help you with the NFL. And they might call it something else now because my wife had to update it this year because she's got to use it for the Patriots today. She'll slingshot it to the TV. But Dofu's really good for all of that, too. I was watching the UNLV game last night on Dofu. Tiger Williams just had just had just under 4,000 penalty minutes. That's more than most guys play in their career. I hate to repeat stuff, but Napier's agent is contacting South Potomac State safety for possible job openings after the season. Oh my God. I got to hydrate just a little bit, guys, before I go. I got to continue to multitask during these shows because now I'm back on end the show, get out the door. Not quite as much this morning if we end at 10:45. Next couple weeks, I'm going to try to end at 10:45. I'm going to try as much as I can to push it to 11. It kind of depends on the situation because we are very we're very superstitious people, and we like the same seats every week. Carter in the game versus the Cowboys totally changes the narrative of the entire game. No question. Agreed. Love to see big Joey Gallo on the bump. Joey Gallo. God help me. Visions of Chad Paranto, and then there's a reference for you, Drew. Joey Gallo. Maybe I'll make it as a pitcher, man. Hope he strikes out as many guys as he struck out. Or as many times. Well, you know what I mean. I wonder why the Tennessee Ball Stadium was nicknamed Rocky Top. So I had to look it up from a song about Tennessee, I believe. I would say that is true. I'm trying to think who sang it. Might have been, I would say John Denver, but I don't think so. There's this boomer Sooner. I was an enforcer, not a goon. Ask Kenny. No offense, man. Don't be offended by my choice of words. I don't find whatever. I don't know what to say. Matt, hello. How are you, my friend? We'll be tagging out of here in about 7, maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. We'll see. FC, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Texans, Bengals, Broncos, Patriots. That's what I got. I don't have the Ravens winning. I have the Bengals winning the division. We have the same teams in the playoffs, though. Did anyone see the 30 for 30 with New York Stock Exchange? I did see it. I thought it was very good. Mark Gastineau is absolutely lost his mind. But it was very interesting. I thought the documentary. They do some. Listen, I say a lot of derogatory stuff about ESPN, but the 30 for 30s, great stuff. 3 teams in the NFC North make the playoffs. I do have 3 teams myself: the Bears, the Vikings, and the Lions. Left out the Packers. Packers, Eagles, Broncos, or Buccaneers, Rams, Lions, Commanders, also known as the Redskins, and Cardinals. I don't have the Cardinals in. I have, don't remember who, and I have the Redskins playing the Lions in the championship game. I agree. Sanders' fumble was huge, without a doubt, and Dak made a TD. He did make a TD saving tackle on that play, too. We talked about that a lot Friday morning on the Jack and Keith weekend playbook. So good stuff. Nice win versus KC, but lots of work to do. Listen, everybody's got lots of work to do. I agree, Matt. I mean, and I'm not overreacting that San Diego's all this and the Chiefs are washed up. As I said, my Patriots could win today, 24-0 over the Raiders, and I'm not going to say. I might say something about the Raiders, but I'm not going to say it says the Patriots are back. I might say that. But I don't. I know there's more work to do. I see the NFL Hawkeye first down marker system minus the chain starts the season. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. You still got freaking guys throwing the ball around all over the place, right? Not a big fan if you haven't noticed. I know you haven't been around a few weeks, Michael, so I didn't do my picks, so I got to get to my picks. Had to look up Peranto, Chris, awful pitcher for 4 teams. Well, that fits Joey Gallo's narrative. Gallo may do the same. Anthony Goss was a recent example of a hitter trying to turn pitcher. Yeah, it doesn't work out. The only thing isolated in Philly's Karen's life is romance, warmth, and a bit of respect for her decisions. Behind the Clock Dream Theater. Bend the Clock Dream Theater. Hey. Oh, that must be... I'll share it in the fantasy chat. Okay, yeah, do that, please. Grisham with the 30 H. Never would I have expected. This guy comes here. He was terrible last year. His defense is so far overrated. But this year he's had a great year. Hit some clutch home runs. Love this guy. Hated him last year. Tennessee's going to lay the lumber on the Bulldogs next week. Just my opinion. I like Tennessee next week. Sorry, Rick. Watching some great nostalgic football here on YouTube. The channel is 80s Football Cards, some fantastic games with weekly reviews from past seasons, like 7. I watch a lot of that stuff. Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire doing the NFL This Week or whatever they call the show. Thank you for popping in, Michael. As always, it is my pleasure to do the show with you guys. All set with freebie on my Fire Stick. There you go. Cool Running based on a true story. And that's a really good movie, by the way. Underrated. A lot of fun. Watch Cool Running if you haven't watched it. Shout out to Armed Forces Network. They allow us to watch NFL Live overseas. All these other apps won't let us see NFL games over here, like Amazon Prime, Netflix, and the like. Really, shame on them. And good for you, Armed Forces Network. Nico rhymes with Rico, which rhymes with Rico, which leads to investigations. By the way, Gallo's doing Duran Smith very well. God, I live near Knoxville. You have no idea. Yes, Rocky Top. Well, Michael, just so you know, Michael's nowhere near Rocky Top because he is in the UK. I wrote you wrote 3 teams from the NFC East. Sorry, I know who the third one is. Said I didn't take the Cowboys. I try to read fast, and I can't read to begin with. Rockies wrote, the Bryants wrote Rocky Top in the 60s. I don't remember first names. I don't either. Tuck Rule will be the former Tuck Rule, by the way. We did away with it after 1980, or I'm sorry, 2001. We didn't need it anymore. Have a great week, Drew. Have a great one. Agree with the Tennessee. Have a great Sunday, guys. Check out Armed Forces Network. That's a good one. You might be able to get it, Michael. Texans and Lions win today in the afternoon games. And thanks to all of you guys. I've had a great time. We're going to try to push this to 11 o'clock next time. I promise you, or maybe not next time, but back to 2 hours as best we can. And still give me some time to get where I got to go. Guys, have a great Sunday. I didn't do my picks, but you can see them when the results are in. Good luck on your picks on the Pick'ems. Good luck for your fantasy teams. Good luck today. Bye-bye. Keith Engle out.